Mike, your wife was kind enough to give me a cup of coffee in the kitchen, but I think now I better get along. As I said, I don't think there's any danger to Nicole or the baby. That's not a guarantee, of course.
Well, apparently Dr. Cavanaugh wasn't worried enough to hang around the hospital. But maybe I'm just being unfair. At least they know where she is now.
There's just one thing. I wouldn't recommend moving her for at least 24 hours. After that, I suppose the hospital would be the best place for her.
Oh, we have no intention of letting her budge.
I have to move right along now, since there's nothing more I can do here. Although I could prescribe something for you, Nancy.
Oh, no, please. I'm perfectly all right.
She's perfectly exhausted, Doctor, if you want the truth. The news about Adam has left us all in a state of shock.
Well, it's a terribly difficult thing to accept. Life like Adam Drake's being suddenly snuffed out. It hit Geraldine very hard, I can tell you.
Oh? Have you been in touch with her?
And Kevin called me and told me Geraldine almost collapsed when she heard the news of Adam's death. That woman has heard that sort of news far too often in her lifetime. Well, you try to get some rest if you can, Nancy. Those are doctor's orders.
I'll try, Doctor. Thank you.
Good night, Mike.
Good night, Doctor. And thank you.
Oh, I'm really feeling very sleepy now, Carol. That's good. I bet I could go to sleep right away in a few minutes if the lights were turned out.
I will be leaving very shortly. You just close your eyes.
Well, you can leave now, Carol. I'm sure you've got a lot better things to do than to sit around and watch me drift into dreamland.
April, it's what Dr. Cavanaugh wants me to do.
No, what Dr. Cavanaugh wants is for you to make sure that I don't go wandering off somewhere. And I assure you I have no intentions of doing any such thing, I promise. I'm not getting out of this bed.
I'm afraid you're not too good at keeping your promises, April.
Oh, I'll keep this one promise, Carol, I swear. If you leave the room right now, I won't set one foot on the floor.
You really mean that?
Cross my heart and hope to... Not my favorite vow. But you can believe me, really.
Well? Okay. But if you are, April fooling me, I'll make sure it never happens again.
Good night, Carol.
Good night. By the way, I'm really very sorry about your friend, Mrs. Drake. I hope she's all right.
Thank you.
If I were you, I wouldn't expect to see her again.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I think she'll probably lose the baby. And then there won't be any reason for her to come back to the Claremont, will there? Good night.
I'd like to make an outside call, please.
Hello?
Draper, it's April.
April, it's awfully late for you to be calling, isn't it?
I'm sorry, I just had to talk to you, Draper. I've been so terribly worried.
That's okay. I've been thinking and I've been wanting to talk to somebody myself. You know, April, I feel like my whole life's been turned inside out since Adam Drake died.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, I believe it has something to do with the Mike Carr case, the one I'm supposed to prosecute in a couple of weeks, but never mind. It's just something that I'll have to work out for myself.
Then you do think there's some connection between Adam's death and the case against Mike Carr?
Maybe yes, maybe no. Look, I'll spell it out for you the next time I see you, all right?
Draper, do you know about Nicole?
Yeah, I mean, I know she's under a lot of strain. Hey, she's all right, isn't she? I mean, nothing's happened to the baby.
We don't know. That's the problem. Miles told her about Adam's being killed, and, well, she got into a really terrible state, and she ran away from the hospital.
Oh, good Lord.
Oh, it's so frightening. She just walked right out of the hospital, jumped into a car, and drove off. We're doing everything we can to find her, but so far there's no luck. You haven't heard anything, have you?
No, I haven't. Has anybody checked at the cars? I mean, they're her best friends.
Yes, Miles thought that might be a possibility. Oh, I just hope she got there safely if that's where she went. Oh, it's so terrible, Draper. I mean, she was feeling so happy the past couple of days. Even tonight she was expecting that call from Adam.
Yes, I know.
She's so much in love with him. Now he's gone. I guess
has anyone thought about calling the police?
Yes, Miles called the state police. He thought they might spot her car, but we haven't heard a word.
I'm sure wherever she's gone, she's all right.
Oh, I hope so. Draper, tell me a little more about what you were saying about the connection with the Mike Carr case. Did that have anything to do with Adam's murder?
Yeah, well, I think it might have, April.
Well, how?
Well, as you know, I think you know that Adam went on a personal mission to find the real killer of Bo Richardson, since he was convinced that Mike Carr wasn't it.
Yes, I know that. Nicole told me.
Yeah, well, he might have found what he was looking for. Do you get what I mean?
Not really.
Well, he might have found the real killer and then had the bad luck to have the killer find him.
Oh, no, and you think that's why he may have been killed?
Well, I have no hard evidence, just a couple of good hunches, damn good hunches. Which is why I have to do what I'm going to do in the morning. I'm going to take a long walk into Ira Paulson's office. Well, actually, it's only a couple of steps, 15 steps, but I'm going to take, it's going to be the longest walk of my life.
Well, who is Ira Paulson?
Ira Paulson is my boss. He's the district attorney. And I'm going to march right into his office tomorrow morning and tell him that I won't prosecute my car, that I just can't prosecute him, not even if it means he's going to fire me. And I have a feeling that might just be what he's going to do.
I'm just about giving you up.
It's all right. One of Dr. Gross's patients was afraid she might be having a coronary. I had to look in on her.
I'm glad you're interested in your other patients.
I'm interested in all my patients, Denise. Now, what about the police? Did you hear from them?
No, I haven't.
That's what I was afraid of.
Doesn't mean I haven't heard something about Mrs. Drake.
Yeah, what is it?
A friend of hers from Monticello called, Mr. Mike Carr. Do you know him?
What do you say?
Oh, just relax, Doctor. The patient is fine. Mrs. Drake must be a very good driver. Or else she has a guardian angel, the kind that watch over drunks and sleepwalkers.
Denise, would you please tell me what he said?
He said that Mrs. Drake was just fine, absolutely fine. He's already had a doctor in to see her. She's stable. She's resting very comfortably in their house. Does that make you feel any better? What on earth are you doing?
Going to Monticello, of course.
Michael, this is ridiculous. You can't just drop everything and drive over to Monticello.
Why can't I?
Well, because it's too late. I mean, it's too far. And besides, there just isn't any reason for it.
I'll give you a very good reason. I've got a patient there. She's been under my care for 6 weeks. She needs me, and I'm going to go down there.
Who says she needs you? I already told you Mr. Carr has had a doctor in to see her. She's not losing the baby. She's perfectly all right.
Still for a doctor.
That is not the issue.
I told you I was going to sleep at the hospital anyway tonight. I told you that this morning.
Oh, I see. So now you're really going to do a whole lot of good by sleeping at the foot of Mrs. Drake's bed, or is that an old
I
story?
really don't have time for this kind of talk.
Miles, Mr. Carr does not want you to come.
Did he say that?
Well, nobody implied it.
Do you know what the man's address is?
No, I don't, because he did not offer it.
Never mind. It's probably in the phone book.
Oh, well, you're really going to do this, aren't you? I mean, you're just going to take off in the middle of the night, leave all your patients here. You're even going to leave your sister, who's just had a fainting spell.
April's all right. I just checked on her, put her to bed. Probably asleep. Oh, listen, would you look in on her and tell her Nicole is all right?
Why don't you tell her yourself?
Denise, for the love of God, will you stop making a federal case out of this? I am only doing what any doctor would do.
You are not just any doctor. You are the chief of the medical staff of this hospital. You have 12 other patients to worry about at least, people who are seriously ill. Your own sister who is not well. You have patients with coronaries. And you are going to take off to go and take care of one woman who does not need you. I think maybe you need to be with her.
All right. All right. Don't suppose there is any use in going down there. Maybe tomorrow. the way you like it, black and terrible.
Thanks a lot.
You any spring clean?
Yeah, sort of. This book. I haven't seen this book in, gosh, I don't know how long. My father bought it for me when I graduated from law school.
Dissenting opinions of Mr. Justice Holmes. Impressive.
Someday I may even get around to reading it. And this pen. I have been looking for this pen for 8 months.
You seen the paper this morning?
You know the bad thing about reading the morning newspaper, Swifty? It upsets you for the entire rest of the day.
Adam Drake's murder's been relegated to the second page.
Nothing deader than yesterday's news.
I still can't get over him being killed like that. After all his years and years of criminal experience, you just wouldn't think he'd let somebody walk up and shoot him. You'd think he'd have suspected something, been aware. According to the papers, he was shot from the front. I must have seen his killer.
Yeah, I guess so.
You read what Chief Marceau was quoted as
I just said I didn't read the morning
I
newspaper.
heard what you said. But Marceau really blew it this time. Listen to this. Chief Marceau was quoted as saying that in his opinion, whoever killed Adam Drake was undoubtedly the same man who killed Bo Richardson. The chief hastened to add that he does not believe that man is Michael Carr, the attorney currently under indictment for the Richardson
Let me
slaying.
see that.
Pretty foolish thing for the chief of police to say.
Nobody in their right mind believed that Mike Carr killed his best friend now.
That is not the point. It is not for the chief of police to say whether a man is guilty or not. Not in this country. A trial. And a jury of 12 honest men and women decide that. Now, Mike Carr has been indicted. Bill Marceau should keep his mouth shut and do his job.
That's right, but it's too bad because Bill Marceau can't keep his mouth shut any more than I can.
What does that mean?
It means I went into Ira's office this morning and told him that I won't prosecute a man whose innocence I believe in.
Oh, what did Ira say to that?
Why do you think I'm cleaning out my desk?
Man, I knew something was wrong this morning the minute I walked in. I just didn't realize it was this bad.
Oh, come on, Swifty.
There are worse things than being unemployed. I don't get it. I just don't see why Ira couldn't have assigned this case to somebody else and let you off the hook.
Ira Paulson is a man who does not enjoy having his authority questioned. He gave me a case. Young prosecuting attorneys are not allowed to say, "No, sir, thank you, sir, but on this case, count me out, sir."
What are you going to do?
Well, I could write my memoirs, right? You know, I could write what it's really like behind the scenes in a district attorney's office, or I could gather my few remaining rupees and go out west. Laguna Beach, Newport Beach. I could, a little friend out there, you know what I mean? I could go surfing again. It's a good life. Clean air, no pressures, no headaches, Swifty.
So funny this morning. How do I get a straight answer out of you?
Oh, relax. You may have inherited this whole Mike Carr mess.
Yeah? Supposed to say something to you?
No, he hasn't said anything, but it's a logical choice. I mean, a young man like yourself, on the way up, looking to make a reputation. It's very obvious.
Not over your dead body.
Hey, don't be coy. It's dog eat dog. One man's meat is another man's poison. It's an ill wind, that et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So what's your next move?
Well, my next move is to dictate my letter of resignation, turn in my softball uniform, and then go visit a friend.
Mike, you're really going into the office
I have to, Nancy.
because of Adam's crime.
Yes, because there are still people who were depending on Adam and me. Can't let them down, can I?
Show must go on.
Yeah, even for a lawyer. I'll only spend a few hours there, Nancy. I'll come back here to pick you up for the funeral.
Still isn't real to me, Mike. I woke up this morning. I still can't believe Adam is really gone.
That was my first thought, too. And that's the worst possible way to start a day.
Honey, do you have any idea at all of which papers of Adam's are missing?
There are quite a few things missing, Nancy, including his wallet and his wristwatch, and maybe some other things we don't even know about yet.
Now, I can't believe it was just a robbery. I can't, and I'm sure you don't.
Neither does Bill Marceau. He thinks whoever killed Adam wanted us to think that it was just a robbery. Do you think I should go see Nicole before I leave?
I think she's still sleeping.
Well, I hope she stays asleep as long as she can.
At least she didn't lose the baby. That's very important. It's the most important thing right now.
Yes, I suppose it is.
At least she'll have Adam's baby, not just memories.
You expecting anyone?
No. Oh, Mike, wait, honey.
What?
Wait. While you were in the shower, we got a call. It was the press. They wanted a statement from us.
Nancy, the only statement I want to give the press is no comment, okay? Lori, good morning.
Morning. You're the early bird. My goodness, baby's not with you. Where is he?
Oh, no, he's home. He's with Johnny.
Is he all right?
Yes, he's fine.
What are you doing here at this hour?
Well, I just wanted to come by and find out about Nicole. Is she all right?
Yeah, sure. Well, she's upstairs.
Upstairs?
Yes, she arrived last night. She's sleeping right now.
Oh. I wish I could sleep. My mind just keeps going around and around in circles, and I keep imagining Adam and the gun going off in the blood and Daddy going to jail.
Lori, I am not going to jail. I've told you a dozen times, innocent people do not go to jail.
Yes, they do.
Lori, this is going to be a difficult day for all of us. I have to go to the office, take care of Adam's effects, clean out his desk, put his affairs in order, and talk to his clients. But I don't like to leave you this way.
I know, Daddy.
Still don't understand what you're doing here instead of being at home with Johnny and the baby.
Well, I just wanted to come by and apologize for the way I acted last night.
Well, that's understandable, honey. It was because of the shock of Adam's death.
Well, I'm sorry I got so upset on the phone. I guess you think I'm acting like a child. I guess I just want a little attention, somebody to worry about me the way you worry about my baby.
I really have to leave, Lori.
Bye-bye.
I'll call in an hour or so to see how Nicole is.
Bye.
Goodbye, Lori.
Bye, honey.
May I stay just a few more minutes?
Yes, of course you may.
How does he do it? How does he stay so calm?
Laura, your father isn't calm. He's grieving. Can't you see that?
He should be grieving for himself.
Please, don't start that.
Mother, don't you realize that the same person who killed Adam is sending Daddy to prison?
18 across is riots.
Yes.
And now the Peanut Man is Carver, not Carter.
Would you like to do it yourself?
Oh, I hate puzzles. I'm terrible at them.
Ah. Well, you see, I enjoy them. I mean, they take my mind off other things. It's the only thing in the newspaper that isn't depressing.
Yeah, like Adam Drake's murder. You know, that was on my mind last night.
Oh?
It seems so cold-blooded. Is it true that it was a robbery, that he was murdered for a few dollars?
Well, since Mike Carr murdered Bo, one has to wonder if he didn't do the same thing for his partner. Maybe Adam knew too much.
Oh, Daddy, that's ridiculous. Adam Drake was Mike Carr's best friend.
Ah, yes, but friendships sometimes can end very abruptly, can't they? I used to think that Bo Richardson was my best friend.
I could have told you differently.
You did tell me differently, Deborah.
Maybe I will finish this damn puzzle.
I'm sorry, Princess, I'm sorry. I know I promised not to bring up this tasteful subject.
Then don't.
Are you all right? You look tired.
Thank you. There's nothing that starts a girl's day out right by telling her that she looks tired. Daddy,
What?
you spelled nougat wrong.
Oh, well, I was
trying to spell nugget. Did you and Officer Guthrie have a nice time last night?
Yes?
You still think he's as enchanting as ever?
What is this letter here?
Oh, damn that crossword puzzle. Deborah, I asked you a question.
Yes, I still like Steve as much as ever. More, maybe.
Children are so perverse. Deborah, with your looks, you could have any man you wanted, any young man at all, with your looks and with my money. Why you have to choose a penniless cop is beyond me. You realize that my yearly cigar bill comes to more than he earns?
Yeah, well, you may be surprised by this, Daddy, but I'm not interested in Steve for his money.
No, of course not. I mean, why should you be? So long as Daddy is there to write checks whenever you need something.
Well, now you've got it all figured out.
You're a mercenary little minx, you know that? Minx. M blank NX. That's 25 down, Deborah.
No, that's Manx. It's kind of a cat.
Yeah, well, you're that, too.
Oh, well, it's all filled in.
Well, I'm not. What happened last night?
Nothing happened.
You didn't come in to kiss me goodnight. That's a sure sign of something.
Daddy, it was late. I didn't want to disturb you. Okay, there was something.
What?
You know, you may not like cops very much, but Steve Guthrie is a good one.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Well, nothing escapes his eye.
For instance?
For instance, I'm not sure, but I think he knows what happened between Bo and me.
Somebody's out to get Daddy. Somebody, maybe one of his old political enemies, or one of his new ones.
No, darling, your father doesn't think there's any kind of conspiracy. He thinks it all a mistake.
But they're framing him. And now Adam is murdered. I wouldn't be surprised if they accused him of that, too.
Oh, that's sheer nonsense.
Well, if they can indict him for one murder, they can indict him for another one.
Please, you've got to stop thinking
But
that
I am
way.
so frightened. They're trying to send Daddy to that prison to kill him so that nobody will know what happened.
Lori, your father and I had a talk the other night. Now, we've all been going through a tremendous strain of managing. All except me. We thought perhaps you might get professional help.
Have you been talking to Johnny again?
No, but we thought that we would. Because Johnny has been very, very patient, very understanding. However, there's got to be a limit.
Timothy girl is lying. She never saw Bo Richardson.
Now, wait a minute. We're not
killed by
talking
gas.
about her.
She's nothing but a little tramp. I don't know why anybody
Regardless
listens
of
to
what
her.
she is, Lori, they are going to listen to her testimony.
Mother, it's just lies. It's lies. Somebody's paying her. Somebody who hates Daddy enough to want to see him dead. I wish I'd killed her. I wish I'd just gone ahead and killed her.
Oh, Lori, don't.
Can I come in? I don't mean to intrude.
That's all right, Draper.
I know it sounds inadequate, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm sorry this happened.
Yeah. I still can't believe it. I expect Adam to walk through that door.
I wanted you to know that I've just turned in my resignation to Ira Paulson.
What? What did you do that for?
Well, I couldn't very well prosecute a man I know. Couldn't hurt a fly, much less murder someone.
Thanks, Draper.
Mike, Adam is gone. And there's no way I can be the same kind of defense attorney he was. But I want to help you. I'm on your side. If there's any way at all that I can help you,
hour, maybe.
Children are so perverse. Deborah, with your looks, you could have any man you wanted, any young man at all, with your looks and with my money. Why you have to choose a penniless cop is beyond me. You realize that my yearly cigar bill comes to more than he earns?
Yeah, well, you may be surprised by this, Daddy, but I'm not interested in Steve for his money.
No, of course not. I mean, why should you be? So you went out tonight with the man of your dreams. And here it is, not even 10 o'clock. And you're at home sitting all by yourself. Now, something has to have happened.
I wasn't having a good time.
All right, Princess. I'll be patient with you. I'll even play straight man for you. Why weren't you having a good time?
Stop it.
Deborah, you're being exceedingly difficult.
And you're prying.
Well, if you feel that way about it, you can get yourself another straight man.
So? I was at the disco, and the music was so loud I couldn't stand it.
Really? It's never bothered you before.
Well, it did tonight.
Obviously. All right, Deborah. Now I am prying. You're as white as a sheet. Obviously, something's upset you very much. I want to know what it is.
Steve knows the truth about what happened between Bo and me.
How could he know? Deborah, how could he possibly know? Unless you told him.
I did.
How on earth could you be that stupid?
I didn't mean to do it, Daddy. First time I told him, it was kind of indirectly. Do you remember the time that I went to cook steaks for him?
Yes.
Well, when we were getting amorous, and I became frightened again. I scratched him, accidentally, but I scratched his hand the same way I scratched Bo's that night. He kept wondering about it, Daddy. He knew that Bo was after me. He knew that Bo had left the club that night, that he closed it down for a few hours, and he put two and two together.
But, Deborah, that's a simple coincidence. He can't prove anything from a few scratches.
I admitted it, Daddy. I told him Bo had raped me. It's not the same since it happened, Daddy. I think I'm so afraid of being touched.
Oh, Princess. That will change.
Well, maybe it won't. Maybe Bo did something terrible to me, Daddy, even more terrible than I thought.
Deborah.
Maybe he's made it impossible for me to be a woman anymore.
Bo frightened you. He frightened you badly. But Deborah, he couldn't change you.
And Steve tried to touch me. All he wanted to do was put his arms around me, Daddy, and I felt such revulsion and...
Princess, now be sensible. Maybe it was the wrong time, or the wrong place, the wrong man, for that matter.
No, it wasn't the wrong man. It was the right man. The one I've been wanting to...
Deborah, you're just going to have to give yourself more time. That's all there is to it.
I told Steve that. Couldn't tell him why. He must think I'm crazy.
Deborah, if he really cares about you,
No, Daddy. You cannot expect that much from people. Look, all Steve knows is that I rejected him violently. I scratched his hands the same way I scratched Bo's. They were bleeding. I wanted to tell him the truth. I wanted to tell him that the reason was Bo, not him.
Well, Princess, you've got your wish. Now your young man knows the truth. The question is, what is he going to do with that information?
Nothing. He's not going to do anything. I trust him, Daddy. Steve would never do anything to hurt me.
I bet you that's Steve now. No, you don't. Now, you let me handle this.
Mr. Saxon, this is Steve Guthrie.
Oh, yes, Steve. I recognize your voice. How are you?
Just fine. Can I speak to Deborah, please?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Deborah's already gone to bed. Keep out of this.
Mr. Saxon.
Yeah?
It's very important.
Well, I'm sure she's asleep by now, Steve. I couldn't wake her up.
Well, she couldn't be asleep right now. She hadn't been home that long.
Steve, are you calling me a liar?
Look, I must talk to her, Mr. Saxon. It's urgent.
Well, won't it keep?
It can't. Look, I'm coming over.
No, you can talk to Deborah in the morning, Steve.
It's too late in the morning. I'm coming over. Goodbye.
Steve.
What did he say?
He's on his way.
Bill, I still can't believe it. The commissioner's suspending you. You're the best chief of police Monticello's ever had.
I don't think anyone in this town even remembers another police chief.
Well, thank you, Mike. It's too bad you're not the commissioner.
He really means it.
Oh, he means it all right, Nancy. After all, those statements I made to the press were not exactly impartial.
Bill, I'm grateful for your loyalty. But for you to lose your job because of me,
Mike, it isn't because of you. Got to understand that. It's because of my conscience. Now, I still have one, even after all these years of playing the political game. And I have to say and do what I think is right.
Would you like some more cake?
No. Thank you, Nancy. Look, Nancy, I know that Mike didn't kill Bo Richardson. I'm willing to bet everything I have that whoever killed Adam is the same one who murdered Bo Richardson. But as chief of police, there was no way that I could express those sentiments. So, tough.
yes, it is tough for you.
Commissioners say that my rash remarks gave enough ammunition to the opposition to float another arsenal.
Bill, what are you going to do now?
Something different, Mike.
You know, you probably could use a vacation.
No. Actually, this may be a blessing in disguise, Nancy. Because this will give me an opportunity to work on a project that I couldn't possibly touch otherwise.
What kind of project?
The same one Adam was working on. Clearing you, Mike.
Good heavens.
Bill, I know your intentions are the best,
You're not going to try and talk me out of it, huh?
Bill, do you have anything to go on? Anywhere to start?
Nancy, Adam had a theory. I have a conviction. I believe that Richardson's killer is out there somewhere, and that Adam learned his identity.
Bill, we're still only assuming that. We're very short on proof.
No. I think Adam's murder is proof enough, at least for me. Now, if he was able to track down the killer, I think I can too.
Please, you've got to be terribly careful.
That's probably Draper.
Oh?
Draper.
Oh, sorry I'm late, Mike. I got held up in traffic.
Come on in.
Oh. Mrs. Carr, how are you again?
Bill,
I didn't expect to see you here tonight.
well, the way things are going these days, I can go anywhere I please.
Draper, Bill has been suspended.
That's right, Draper. You're looking at an unemployed chief of police.
Looks like we're in the same boat for the same reason. I mean, that's why you were dumped, wasn't it? Because of the remarks you made to the press about Mike?
That's right, Draper. Seems that in my position, I'm supposed to be impartial and unprejudiced. And in this case, there was just no way that I could be like that.
And Draper was let go for the same error of judgment.
I said I wasn't going to prosecute a man I felt was innocent.
So has the case been reassigned?
Well, he not only reassigned the case, Nancy, but he reassigned my office and my desk as well, not just temporarily. It was a permanent thing. Well, Ira was upset, and I'm not going to repeat exactly what he said, but loosely translated, it meant pack up your bags and get out.
Oh, well, on that note, Draper, may I offer you something, some coffee?
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you very much.
I strongly recommend Nancy's cake. May not get your job back, but sure makes life a lot more bearable.
Oh, how I wish I could do that for both of you, really. You'll never know how much it means to have such wonderful friends.
Who are unemployed because of me.
Come on, Mike, come on. Now tell me, Draper, what are your plans? What do you intend to do now?
Well, that's up to Mike. I offered him my services, but not as a replacement for Adam. You have to understand that. For that, you're going to need the best defense attorney in the country. I just want to offer my services and be available to you for whatever capacity.
Bill just made that same offer.
Well, Mike, you got to get yourself some legal counsel.
Oh, didn't you know that there have been phone calls from so many prominent attorneys in the country?
Oh, yes, including Maxwell Greer and Douglas Winfred.
Douglas Winfred? He just defended that Rumson girl. And I didn't think anybody could ever get her acquitted, but it's exactly what he did. Now, what about him? What about Winfred?
I spoke to him about it.
Will he take the case?
Oh, yes, he's willing to do that. So is Maxwell Greer, if I'm willing to pay the price.
However, money isn't the issue here.
Well, look, there'd be no problem raising a defense fund, Mike.
Winfred isn't even interested in money.
I'm not referring to money. This case has attracted a lot of publicity. And some kind of lawyers are attracted to that kind of notoriety.
He's a good man.
Yes, and there are lots of good men. But let's face it, these high-powered types aren't interested in Mike Carr. They're just interested in the case and the publicity surrounding it. To them, I'm just another client.
Does it matter?
To me, it does. They're looking to capitalize on my troubles. What I want in a defense attorney is a simple, sincere defense. I need a good lawyer who believes in me and believes in my innocence. And I think I've found just the right man.
That's terrific. Who is it, Mike?
You, Draper.
Me?
Nancy and I can't think of anyone who could do a better job of defending me.
Paying any attention to my discards?
Oh, it's too much nuisance to remember what I discard.
Well, you'll never make a very good gin player that way, will she, Geraldine?
I'm afraid I'm not much of a player myself.
Well, you usually manage to keep ahead of me. Now, look, you've done it again. Didn't you see me pick up the jack of clubs?
Yeah, but that's a queen.
Well, doesn't it occur to you that I might be making a meld?
Well, go ahead. Pick it up. I don't care.
All right, if that's the way you're going to play.
Gin.
Now, how the heck did that happen?
Very simple. While you're sitting there memorizing all the cards, I use my intuition. And I got there ahead of you, that's all. See?
What do you do with somebody like this? She plays a rotten game of gin, and yet she keeps on winning.
Some people have magic, Kevin.
That's right. I'm a sorceress. You haven't got a chance.
Why don't you play a few hands, Geraldine? You usually have magic yourself.
No, I'm afraid I'm not much in the mood for game playing, Kevin.
Oh, but you do feel better than you did yesterday?
Oh, yes, I'm over that little spell I had, but I just find it so difficult to get Adam's death out of my mind. Kevin, I don't suppose there's any more word on the person responsible.
Well, if the police know anything, they're not telling the press.
Ah, but you know what? If they find out anything, you're going to be the first to know because you're the crime reporter.
That's right. They'll tell me all the gory details.
Please, let's not discuss it any further. It's much too morbid. Everything seems to be so filled with violence these days.
Do you really think it's more violent?
Oh, I don't know, Raven. Perhaps not. It's just that people seem to be more interested in violence. They are voyeurs of violence. They want to see it, read about it, hear about it.
Not me. All I want is a good cutthroat game of gin. My deal?
Your deal, killer.
I can't tell you how much it means to me to have you two here. Sharing your youth and vitality. Why, you make me feel young again.
Oh, Mrs. Whitney, I think you like people think you're older than you are.
Well, the truth is, Geraldine started lying about her age long ago. It was in 1901.
Now, Kevin!
No, I'm just kidding. The truth is, Geraldine likes people to think of her as a grande dame. But in reality, she's still a pretty foxy lady.
No, well, this foxy lady is going to her lair.
Oh, you're going to bed?
Yes, my dear, I'm rather tired tonight. These last few days have been exhausting for me.
Sleep well, Gerald.
Thank you, Kevin. Good night, my dear. Good luck with your game.
Don't worry. I'm going to have you begging for mercy in a minute.
Good night.
Good night. going to deal those cards?
Do you want me to?
Well, you can't quit while you're ahead.
I don't know that I want to be ahead. At least not in cards. You know what they say about cards?
You mean the old adage about lucky at cards, unlucky at love?
Well, you have to admit my luck hasn't been very good lately. Maybe I'm not playing my cards right, I haven't made very much progress with you.
Well, that could be my fault and not yours.
I know, but why, Kevin? I know you like me. I think you like me very much. How come you managed to refuse the most direct invitations?
Raven, I think your timing was just a little bit off.
Kevin, when are you going to stop thinking about your wife? I know it must seem like a short time to you, but it's been 6 months. How long does the mourning period go on? I know. As long as you feel mournful. Don't you feel something else, too?
Raven, I think it just wasn't the right time for your invitation. Not so much because of Phoebe, but lately my mind has been occupied with thoughts of Adam.
Oh.
I guess I haven't been able to think about anything else.
Kevin, we're young and we're alive. We want each other. Don't we?
That's right, Deborah. Have a drink. That would help blot out this whole rotten business on us.
You want one?
No, it doesn't have the same effect on me, Deborah.
Daddy, would you stop it, please? What's done is done. I cannot take back what I told Steve. For good or bad, he knows.
And what is little boy Blue going to do now that he knows?
I don't know.
I do. He's going to blow his horn or his whistle right in the ear of the chief of police.
I don't believe that, Daddy. Despite what you think, Steve does not want to hurt me or use me. He wants to help me.
And what about his duty? He's a police officer, sworn to uphold the law without fear or favor.
Steve will not tell anyone, Daddy. Not if I ask him not to.
Did you ask him?
No, I didn't have a chance. After I told him we were at that stupid disco, the first thing I want to do is get out of there. Left.
So how can you be sure he's going to keep silent?
Because I know he will. He doesn't... He wouldn't do anything but hurt me. He knows how much it means to me.
And how much is it going to mean to him? Another promotion? Another stripe? Another raise in pay?
I don't want to hear you talk like this, Daddy.
Deborah, don't answer that door.
Daddy, please. He knows we're here. He's not going to go away. Let him in. Let's talk to him. Let's keep it from becoming official. Please.
All right. Come into the study, won't you please, Steve?
Deborah, can I talk to you alone?
The answer to that is no.
It's very important, Deborah. I think you know why.
It doesn't matter. Daddy knows it all. He knows all about Bo. He knows all about what happened.
Just don't get upset and start crying again.
Don't look at me, Officer Guthrie. I've never known how to comfort a crying woman. You make me nervous. Would you like a drink?
Yes. No, thank you.
Well, I think I'm about ready for one.
Look, Deborah, would you tell me the rest of it? Tell me everything that happened, please.
There's nothing else to say. Bo came here to this house. I was alone. He was strong. I couldn't help myself.
I know that, but what about afterwards?
Bo was punished afterwards. I'm really quite indebted to Mike Carr for killing him.
That's what I'm talking about, Richardson's death.
We've had quite enough talk about Richardson's death. We're both tired of it. As a matter of fact, we're both tired, period. So why don't you just be a good police officer, Steve, and go back to your beat?
Don't you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Saxon? This attack that Bo made on
This criminal assault,
That's
you mean?
right. It was a crime, and it should have been treated like a crime. She should have gone to the cops.
No, I couldn't. I was too ashamed.
You know how the police treat rape cases, how they degrade and humiliate them.
That isn't always the case.
Oh, yes. I've heard about the female assault division. There have been a lot of speeches about what the police...
Stop it! Do we have to keep talking about this? It is over. It's over.
That's right. It's over. There's no point stirring up dead ashes.
It's only dead because Richardson is. And that's what I'm here to talk to you, to both of you about. What this new information means.
It doesn't have to mean a damn thing, Steve. Not one damn thing, unless you broadcast it.
Mr. Saxon, don't you understand what I'm saying? Richardson just didn't die. He was murdered. And what happened to Deborah gives her as much a motive as Mike Carr.
What if I were to forbid the trip as your physician?
But you're not my physician, remember? Dr. Spangler. And even if you were, I'm a free agent, just like Nicole. You can't force me to stay here. You can't keep me from going to see my friends.
You're right, John. Sincerity. Absolutely right. That's got to count for something. After all, what is a jury? They're just people, 12 of them.
Right.
And if they see that I really believe in Mike's innocence, that I really feel that he's innocent, that's got to mean something.
That's right again.
But will it be enough, John? Will it be enough to save Mike? Tell me.
Oh, hi, honey.
Hello.
How pretty you look.
And hello to you, Mr. Scott.
Mrs. Dallas, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. As a matter of fact, I'm just fine. The only trouble with me is that I am bored.
Now, look, honey.
Sitting at home for so long, I've almost forgotten what the outside world is like.
That was your choice to stay in the house.
I know. But as you can see, I've changed my mind, so here I am. Aren't you happy?
No.
Doesn't look very happy, does he? I'd say that that's a clear case of perjury, wouldn't you? I mean, you're a lawyer. You know all about that sort of
John, I think I better just pay up and call it quits while I can still negotiate those stairs.
Aren't you looking forward to the trial? I mean, it's coming up pretty soon, isn't it? So much excited about it.
Laurie, there's a couple of things you don't know about.
Oh, you've come by to ask John some new gossip about my father, is that it?
Listen, honey, Draper's not working for the DA's office anymore. He quit.
What?
Well, he quit me, actually. In fact, he might be proved to be a good help to your father. He might be his big gun in his defense. See, I'm on your side now. I mean, I may not look like much of an asset right now, because I've been doing a little drinking, but...
Oh, well, that's wonderful. That's wonderful news. I'm very glad to hear that. Well, I knew you didn't really believe that my father was guilty. Glad I decided to come out tonight.
Hey, you're also very lucky to have found a sitter at this late hour.
A sitter?
Oh, yeah. What'd you get? We couldn't get Mrs. Granger. She's out of town. Oh, is Tracy staying with the baby?
No. No, I didn't even think about getting a sitter.
What are you talking about?
Well, J.D. was sleeping so soundly, I was getting... I guess I just forgot.
Laurie, who's with the baby? Is the baby all alone?
There must be something more you can tell me. I mean, if you can't answer my questions, how are you going to answer anybody else's?
Nothing else to say. I've told you everything.
Maybe Officer Guthrie wants the salacious bits, too.
I'm looking for an alibi, damn it, to keep Deborah off the hook.
She isn't on any hook so long as you don't say anything.
What do you want me to cover up information? Is that it?
I want you to take your nose out of our
I
business.
can't take this anymore!
Now see what you've done. Deborah, go and lie down. Please, Princess, there's no point in you staying here to subject yourself to any more of this inquisition.
I will go back there. I really feel sick.
Deborah.
It's going to be all right. Everything's going to be okay. Straighten everything out. I promise. I promise. There's something that you can straighten out, Mr. Saxon.
What's that?
When did you find out about this attack on Deborah?
Well, when Deborah told me about it.
When was that?
What difference does that make?
I mean, she must have come home. She must have been in pretty bad shape. Didn't you ask her any questions? You did know she was raped, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you advise her not to go to the police?
No. No, that was her own decision, and I agreed with it. I told you why. I didn't want my daughter humiliated or mistreated or degraded.
You didn't want him to get away with it. You did want Bo Richardson punished, didn't you?
Yes. I see. Now you've got two new murder suspects. Is that it?
How are you doing? Not doing justice to your omelet, I'm afraid. Please forgive me. Well, now, I would, Nicole, if you would start eating something. You do need nourishment, you know. Yes, I know. Lots of food, fresh air, sunshine. Been hearing a lot about those things lately. Well, do you see all the sunshine we have today? It's a lovely day out there. Yes, I have seen. Nicole, would you like me to close the blind? It is a bit of a glare. Is it too harsh on your eyes? Just a bit. Here, let me do that. You know, you have a very lovely garden out there. Yes, it is pretty, isn't it? I'm delighted it turned out so well. Colors are also magnificent. But they hurt. You know what I mean? I mean, it hurts to look at them. Maybe because I feel so colorless inside. I think also the sight of so many things is going to be painful for a while. But the pain will go away, I'm sure of it.
Hello. Is this Mrs. Carr? Oh, this is April Kavanaugh, Dr. Kavanaugh's sister. Remember we met when you came to visit Nicole at Claremont?
Yes, of course. What can I do for you?
Well, Nicole is there, isn't she? Do you suppose I could speak with her?
Just a minute, please. Nicole, would you like to talk to April Kavanaugh?
April?
Yes.
Thank you.
April, hi.
Oh, Nicole, how wonderful to hear your voice. Was it all right for me to call? I really didn't know what to do.
Oh, April, of course. I would have called you myself.
just not very good at the social graces these days.
Well, how are you visitors? Are you seeing people? Would you see me, Nicole, if I came to Monticello?
Well, sure. As soon as you get out of the hospital and feel up to making the trip, I'd love to see you.
Well, that's good, because I am out of the hospital, and I've already made the trip. I'm in Monticello right now.
How in the world did you manage that?
Oh, it was easy. My brother was only too happy to get rid of me, and I'm all over that nasty bug anyway. All I was doing really was taking up space.
Oh, I'm so glad for you.
The only reason I really stayed, Nicole, was because you were there, and I didn't want to break up our chess and needlepoint and gossip society. But now that you've left...
April, have you spoken to your brother?
Yes, of course. He had to sign my release papers.
And I guess he told you about my decision.
Listen, Nicole, my time's going to run out. I'm in a phone booth, and I really don't have any more change. Do you think we could finish this conversation face to face?
April, I'll tell you, I'm not very good company at the moment.
Oh, don't worry, Nicole. I don't mind doing all the talking for both of us as usual. Look, could you tell me how to get where you are? I'm on the corner of Willow and Main.
I haven't the foggiest how you get here from Willow and Main. Just a second. Can I, please? Okay, thank you. Hello, Miss Kavanaugh. Nancy Carr here. You're at Willow and Main? Well, just take Willow all the way out till you get to the firehouse. And there's a road on the right. It's called Hilltop Road. Well, take that. Yes, to Route 54. Then take 54 out to Oak Road. And make a left on Oak. Left. That's right. And we're the second house. That's fine. Well, you're welcome. Right. Goodbye. So you're going to have a visitor.
Hello, darling.
How'd you get here?
What do you mean, without my car? Well, it would have been easier if you brought us home last night instead of driven it
I
here.
told you on the phone I got back from Monticello too late. I had things to do here at the hospital. I thought you could manage one more day without your car.
And one more night without my husband.
Anyway, it's parked out in the lot. Here are the keys.
Oh, thank you. Well, does Mrs. Drake mind my reclaiming it?
It'd be ridiculous. She was very apologetic. She didn't even know whose car she was taking.
It's all right. I mean, I'm not going to prefer charges. Not against car theft, anyway.
Do you mind if I
Oh, you want
set
you'd like
my
to
own
sit at your
address? Yes.
Of course. So, tell me about your night.
I had 4 hours sleep.
I don't mean your night here. I mean your evening with Mrs. Drake. How is she? Does she have any ill effects?
She survived all right. She didn't lose a baby.
Well, that's good news, isn't it?
Yes.
So I don't suppose she's in very good spirits.
She's deeply depressed. What else would she be? She was very devoted to her husband. She wasn't exactly prepared to lose him like that.
No, especially with his murder. It's so much worse. I just was reading about it in the morning paper. It's really quite fascinating. The police chief thinks that Drake was killed because of something he knew.
I really don't know very much about it.
Well, you really ought to read the man's obituary. Certainly something of a local celebrity. And the story about the romance between him and Nicole really reads like something out of a book.
You still haven't told me how you got here.
Oh, didn't I? I had a lift. Daddy brought me to the hospital himself.
Your father's at the hospital now?
No, he just dropped me off. He's going to play golf with Mr. Crimmins. You remember Mr. Crimmins?
No, I don't. I don't keep track of your father's golf partners.
Miles, darling, I just told you about him. He's the millionaire, the rich millionaire, the one who's going to change this cute little hospital into a famous medical center.
Have I heard that before?
No, Miles, don't be so sure. I think Daddy may have found the real one this time. In any case, he's very excited about him, and he wants you to meet him.
Oh, sorry. I don't play golf.
Well, you can handle a nice report, can't you?
What does that mean?
That means dinner tonight. I've invited Daddy and his friend, Mr. Crimmins. Now, I'm not going to do the cooking myself, so don't worry. I'm going to have the whole thing catered by those people who were so discreet in the years. Made it look like I did the whole thing
Grace,
myself.
what is it that makes you think I can get to dinner tonight?
Well, of course you can. I mean, you're not going to tell me that you're planning to spend another night in this place. Or are you planning a return trip to Monticello?
No, I'm not.
Well, then there's no problem.
The problem is that I'm expecting to work very, very late tonight. Too late for anything more than a sandwich.
Oh. Daddy's going to be very disappointed.
Daddy's got to learn to give me a little bit more notice. I've scheduled 2 meetings for this evening.
When? Just now?
No, not just now. Look, I didn't say I wasn't going to be home at all. Just don't expect me for dinner. I'm sure you can make him understand that.
All right. I'll try to explain. Well, he is a doctor himself. He's going to understand that your patients have to come first. Don't worry about it, darling. Well, I guess I might as well stop and say good morning to April, and then I'll be on my way.
He's not here.
Oh? She isn't?
No, she left the hospital.
What, she's back in her apartment? Well, that's swell. I'll stop off and see her there.
You won't find her there either. She's decided to take a little drive to Monticello.
Oh, to see her friend Nicole.
That was the idea.
Well, now I know what that word attracted means. Your friend Mrs. Drake is practically a magnet, isn't she?
Honey, you didn't have the first cup. Like you even had. What are you trying to do to yourself? I'm so ashamed. Well, had a couple of things on your mind these past weeks, so maybe just got a little forgetful.
But to just leave the baby all alone like that. Walk out as if he didn't even exist. Must be something wrong with a person who does a thing like that.
Well, in a way, maybe there is something wrong. Maybe you've been putting a few too many burdens on those pretty little shoulders of yours.
I don't know. I just can't seem to feel the way I used to. I mean, I used to look at J.D. lying in the cradle and my heart would melt. Now I look, I just don't feel anything. Nothing at all.
Well, I don't believe that. I don't think I ever will.
But why would I just go out and leave him alone like that? Because I don't care about him? Because I don't care what happens to him? It's an awful way for a mother to feel.
Well, sometimes things get a little rough for parents. In those rough times, maybe they take it out on the kids, you know.
You're being very understanding, Johnny. I really don't deserve you.
Why don't you just shut up, huh? I wish you'd do me a favor, though. I wish you'd think a little more about some professional help that might...
Don't start all that again about me needing a psychiatrist just because of one little mistake.
A minute ago, you said that it wasn't so little.
Well, anybody could forget a thing like that. Anybody.
Bye.
Hey, how are you? Nice to see you, Beth.
Thank you. Hi, Laurie. Hi.
Although you are a little late.
Oh, that's a nice good morning. How can I be late if you didn't even know I was coming?
Well, how could I know you were coming if you didn't call?
Sorry, I thought I was welcome to come here anytime.
Oh, you are. You always are. Just ignore your brother. He's just being a little bit grouchy this morning.
What is this about my being late?
Well, we could have used you about 11
Johnny.
o'clock, but...
Please. Oh, all right. Go ahead.
Could somebody please tell me what's going on? I went out last night. I went down to the New Moon to see Johnny. I was feeling so cooped up, I had to get out. So what's the matter with that?
Nothing. Except when a mother leaves a kid, he usually gets a babysitter or something.
Oh, Lord. Well, JV was asleep, and I just forgot about it.
Is he all right? What did you do?
I called up the super. He let himself in with the key, and I found out that the kid was okay.
I rushed home right away to make sure.
I was thinking of calling you. But these days you don't give too many people your phone number, your address, and...
Well, you wouldn't have gotten me anyway. I was working last night. I had a one-day job at a restaurant.
Oh, yes? Which one?
The fine interrogation. Nice way to treat a guest. Have you ever thought of offering me a cup of coffee or something?
Laurie, how about... No sugar, no cream.
Thank you.
Well, let us in on it. How you doing these days? What's up?
I'm doing fine. Well, I'm surviving. That's all I'm expecting of myself right away.
Working regular?
No, not yet. But that's all right, too. I don't really want to get into another waitress job right away. Not until I'm desperate.
Yeah, I know. Waitressing is pretty stinking work, you know, for most young girls.
That's not what I meant. All I was saying, John, is that I feel that it's time for me to move into something different, that's all. Well, you know what I mean, don't you, Laura? Did you hear J.V. crying just then? No? No, at least I didn't. Well, good. I like him when he isn't crying. I mean, when he's in a good mood. Maybe I ought to go in and play with him for a while. What do you think?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Listen, Laurie, I was thinking if you had things to do or shopping or anything like that, I'd be glad to take him off your hands for a couple of hours. Take him to the park, maybe. Oh, would you really? He'd love that. I'd love it. He has such a good time at the park.
Well, I'll go tell him about it. That'll make him real happy to hear his Aunt Tracy's taking him out.
He loves his Aunt Tracy. Doesn't he, Johnny?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, Tracy, you would have made a wonderful mother.
Not like some people I know.
Well, go ahead, say it.
Say what?
My wife is acting stranger than she ever has. It's beginning to worry me an awful lot. You know, I come home from work, I don't even know what to expect anymore. I don't know where to find the kid. I don't know what to expect when I walk in the house.
John?
You know, it's not that she doesn't love the kid. I know she loves the kid. But there's something inside her that seems to stop her from expressing it. And that's what happened last night. She's completely indifferent.
What about her parents? Have you thought
She
about
doesn't want me
talking
to tell her parents.
Well, you've got to do something.
Look, the only thing that I can think of doing is try to find somebody that I can rely on. An emergency. Now, you said you loved the kid and you wanted to help.
Of course I do.
Well, would you please do me a favor? Would you give me your phone number so I can reach you? Please? Thank you very much.
Only you have to do me a favor, John.
Sure, what?
You have to promise you won't give this number to anybody else. All right?